Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name's Erin and I do mostly budgeting videos like the one you're about to see here. January is over. On one hand, January went quickly for me, but in other ways, it dragged a little bit. I don't know. I'm all over the place with this year so far, but hopefully all of your plans and your scheduling and your goals and everything for 2022 is going along just as you want. Everything is going pretty well for us, better than expected, knock on wood. But yeah, I'm pretty excited about 2022 so far. I feel very, very blessed and fortunate, and I'm excited to get into February and see what we can do with this month. So I have a little notebook here. It's spiral bound on the top, which I love a top bound notebook. And I'm not a lefty, but I don't know. I know a lot of left-handed people like the top spiral, but I don't know. I love this notebook. This is from Target. I've had it for a while, but they do still have these. I've noticed the last time I was in there, they still had them in different patterns. So we are going to talk about February's budget forecast. And that is something that I really need to be mindful of and make sure that I'm doing every single month, because I want to see what I anticipated our month going like versus the way things actually went. So the things I'm going to be focusing on are income. We have a couple different sources of income, which I'll talk about, and our bills for the month. And when I talk bills in February, I'm actually talking about March's bills, because we pay all of our bills a month in advance. And I'm also going to anticipate what our variable expenses look like, and hopefully I am close to being pretty accurate, but you never know. You never know what can come up financially in any given month or week, so we'll see how it goes. So first I am going to write down a couple of things, a couple different categories, and we're going to start with income. So I'm just going to write income here, and we will plug in some dates and I'll tell you what our income looks like. So February 1st is going to be my husband's retirement. And I have all of my videos scheduled. If you missed my February content planning, you'll see what my schedule is for literally every single video that I'm going to be doing this month and what date it's going to fall on. So February 1st is going to be my husband's retirement. And for those of you who have been with me for a while and maybe you missed that announcement, his retirement is in full effect. This is a private retirement pension that he's getting for taking an early retirement option. It is reduced for life at this amount, but we're definitely okay with that because it was better than him relocating and us having to pay to run two households. So I just don't think that that would have been the best decision at all. Plus, time away from a loved one, you can never get that back. So I'm very, very happy with the decision we made, even if the retirement wouldn't have been a part of it at all. So on February 8th, he gets paid right around the 8th. It could be the 7th, the 8th, or the 9th. He will be getting his January sales commissions because he is working full-time at another job. So that will be coming in, and then February 11th will be my first paycheck of the month. February is the shortest month out of the year, but we still have all the paydays coming in. There's 2 months out of the year, I believe it's July and December, where I actually get a third pay, and I love that because ever since we started doing our bills a month in advance, paying our bills a month in advance, I actually feel that third pay more so than we weren't doing that. So I really look forward to those months because it's just like added income into your monthly budget. So he will get his first base pay on the 15th. And I will plug in the numbers for these things too as soon as I get the whole list going. And then on February 25th, I guess I didn't have to write the year for every single thing. I will be getting my pay, number 2. And then on February 28th, he will be getting his second base pay. Now, it's interesting because even though it's a base pay, they do take it out of his next month's commissions. So say he makes, let's just say he makes $3,000. They'll end up taking the base pay pre-tax out of that $3,000 commission, and then he'll get the rest post-tax. But it's different than a draw when you're working commissions, because if it's a true draw pay, if he didn't make his entire amount of base pay, he would owe them money, whether it be immediately or the next month or things like that. So I'm really glad that it's a base as opposed to a draw. These are things that I have learned. I never knew anything about commission-based income, sales-based income. It's really interesting to me. All right, so for retirement, so for all of these things, I'm just estimating. I'm going to put $2,400 for his commission. I'm going to estimate $2,000. And if he makes $2,000 a month, that would be fantastic. Pretty much he did that ever since he's been working there, except I think 2 months. And November was his worst month. I think he made like $598 in commission after they took out the base pays and the taxes and all that. So my pay is about $1,535. I do hope I get a raise this year. I have kind of started the ball rolling with that conversation at work, but it's a slow moving ship. So if I do, it will be way, way later in the year. And then just gonna plug in the same amounts. And what I'll do to reconcile these numbers is I'll do a February recap at the end of the month, or maybe it'll be uploaded in the very beginning of March. And then that way you guys will be able to see how far off the mark I was, or if I was completely accurate. It'll be an interesting comparison. So I'm just going to total these all up. All right, I'm going to switch colors and plug the total in here. 87.30. And I think it's important to mention, because I'm also a viewer of a lot of channels here on YouTube, not just somebody who uploads, not to compare incomes, because everybody's situation is so different. Jobs are different, locations are different, cost of living in all these locations are different. And so there's a lot of YouTube channels that I see where, you know, there's 2 people, dual income household, and they make a whole heck of a lot more than this. There's a lot of channels that I see people sharing their information and they make a lot less, or there's some people who are in similar situations. And so I just wanted to mention that and just be really clear that I never ever put real numbers down to somehow give off the impression that I think we make a lot of money, or we're crying poor mouth, you know, at the opposite spectrum. I just put it out there just because I think when I'm doing these videos that it's the most helpful way for people to be able to follow along on your journey. Part of that could be your debt-free journey, your savings goals, all the things that you have planned, or just, you know, an average month in the life of, you know, somebody living in the Northeast. You know, it just depends. I know sometimes when I talk about the cost of things, a lot of you are shocked, especially at our mortgage, that our mortgage is so inexpensive. And I just think it's because property and the cost of living is much less expensive where I live in comparison to a lot of other places. So yeah, I think that budgets and incomes and all those numbers are just super subjective and should be taken with a huge grain of salt. When it comes to goals and savings, I think that could be a lot more universally relatable to a lot of people, because I think when somebody saves $1,000, it's equally exciting when the next person saves $1,000, no matter where you live. I think that, you know, when you're saving or when you're planning for things, that can be a lot more relatable, just across the board generally. But as far as budget and things like that, honestly, I just share my numbers because I think it's most helpful into the flow and the content of my channel. So I just wanted to mention that because, you know, it's just always a good reminder. And, you know, if there's new people here, and I know a lot of people are uncomfortable talking about money, or they would never share income and things like that. But to me, it's just numbers. You know, it's not like I'm passing out my social security number and putting, you know, anyone on my loan applications for anything I do in life. It's just numbers. And so I think that we're just average, you know, middle of the road individuals, and, you know, a couple. We don't have any kids or anything like that. So I think it's okay to share it. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. I know some of you probably have different schools of thought on that, and that's totally fine. We're all different. But let's go ahead and talk about then what our bills are. So bills stay pretty much the same month to month, because we haven't purchased anything new or done anything different recently. So our March 2022 bills are going to be pretty much the same as they've been for January and February so far. And that amount is going to be $2,800. Now that includes things like mortgage, it includes utilities, it includes car payments, insurances, all the regular expenses that it takes to run a household and to live month to month. What it doesn't include are anything like variables, which include food, gas for our cars, miscellaneous money that we need for certain things like that. So these are our fixed expenses, just so that is explained a little bit better than just saying bills. Because for some people, you know, some people lump other things into their bill categories. Like, you know, they might put groceries into their bill category or gas into their bills. But for me, bills just include fixed expenses, the ones that pretty much don't change very much month to month, year to year, and also that you can count on, definitely. There's no cutting corners unless, I don't know, you're trying to save on electricity or gas or something like that, but that's different. So I'm also going to put down bills, variable. And if you've been with me for a while, you know that I went back to stuffing cash envelopes, which I think is super helpful in keeping me on budget. So I really enjoy doing that. I think that once I get into cash spending again, it just feels, you know, old hat to me. It feels comfortable, and I feel like I'm in control more of my spending. So I do enjoy that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to budget about $450 a week. That is high, but it includes all of our groceries. It includes dining out, our dog food, which recently we have begun cooking for them for the most part. It includes, what else? Did I say gas for our cars? I don't know. But it includes all the incidental expenses, pocket money, spending money, going out and doing things, buying gifts for people. It might include a little Valentine for my husband, you know, things like that. We don't really get into buying Valentine's Day gifts. I'm just going to put that out there. But, you know, I might pick up a little something for him just to acknowledge the day. So I'm going to put $1,800, and that is going to be $450 per week. And again, this is one of those things that's subjective. Some of you may say that's too much money to spend every week, and some of you might say you can get by on that every week for two people. It just depends. And again, I think that is just the beauty of sharing budgets and having budget channels. Is it's really interesting to see what other people are doing, what other people live on, how they make their dollar stretch, how they pay down debt, which is somewhere that we have been many times in my life. We've been in severe debt. But it's also something that I have really, really worked on. And I'm proud to say that I did pay off my student loans 100% last year. I think it was in August or September, but I am pretty sure it was in August. But I'm so happy to have that out of the way. And it's something that I really saved for. So if you've been watching my channel for a while, you know that I was socking away that sinking fund money, savings, emergency funds, and I was just really going at it, chipping away at it, even though, you know, my husband had lost his job in the past few years. I had gotten a pay cut, my reduced hours because of the quarantine. There were so many variables that went into our situation, but I still chipped away, and we did without a lot. And we did some serious side hustles to bring in extra money. And it was just, I don't know, it was a journey. It was a little bit difficult at times, but we got through it. So I'm really happy to say that student loans is no longer part of my fixed expenses. So income is going to be $87.30 minus $2,800 for fixed expenses. And that gives us $59.30. I really need to order another calculator. It is getting to be ridiculous at this point. Minus $1,800 for variables. Guys, I am so sorry my video got cut off and I didn't even realize, but I just wanted to give you a little note at the end, tell you that I have some money left over, and I'll definitely be giving you updates in my subsequent videos to come. Thanks so much for watching.